Welcome to another episode of the Stoic Trading Psychology Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of trading psychology and what it truly takes to become a consistently profitable trader. Joining me today is Bash, a trader who has mastered the mental game and has really developed the resilience needed for success. Today we will be exploring the mindset shifts, emotional challenges, key habits that truly separate the winners from the losers in this highly competitive trading space. So stay tuned for the episode that could definitely help you transform the way that you approach trading. All right, what's going on, everyone? I'm here with, what is your name, man?
Bash,
whichever you prefer. Or Bashi. Nice to meet you, man. And where are you located?
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I'm located in the UK, central England, not London.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've never been out that way, but how long have you been trading for?
Not long at all, to be honest. I went live in April, so only been 5-6 months.
Okay.
It started my studying of my content technical-wise probably in February. So I did about 2.5 months worth of studying before going live. And my first type of exposure to trading, like from the first time of ever placing a trade, that was around December time.
Okay, like you placed a live trade?
Yeah, because I had a personal account. I got caught up in one of those online gurus you come across and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, got swindled into making an account, with the broker that they use. So obviously it's that whole linking with the broker, they get financial benefits from it, that type of thing. And this person, talks about trading and stuff and how you can make a lot of money, right? So I was like, cool, seems like a good way to go. And he's kind of offering it as he's kind of teaching you, like a mentor. It wasn't really clear as to if it was signals or not, because this is my first type of exposure to trading. So I was like not too sure what was going on, but they said that, oh, you can trade, we teach people, etc., right? So, I signed up with a broker, deposited money. Basically, he made me place a trade with him, a certain lot size for a couple of minutes, lost like $150 in the space of a couple of minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, he made me place like 4 or 5 lots on Euro USD with no stop loss on 7 lots. We on an account that had like $300 in there. That's a lot.
So why did he do that? Like, was that just part of the scam, or that was like one of his signals that he was taking?
No, so what he does is when you join his Telegram group, you got some person behind the general customer service stuff. He gets you to sign up and go through all the KYC, deposit money, etc. Then you get passed over to the guy who actually does the trading himself, or the guru himself, and then he places that trade with you. He doesn't tell me what stop loss is or anything. I had no idea. I was completely first time experience, bro. No idea what an SL is. I didn't even know what a lot was. I was just like, okay, cool. I'll do what he says, right? Price dropped like, I think it was like 10 pips or something like that. I remember it dropped, and we were looking for buys. It dropped 10 pips. I lost like $150 in like couple of minutes, and then I was told to close the trade out. The person said, oh, it's a slow day, don't worry, we'll get there another day. And that was it. After then, I kept messaging him, asking him about where the content is, the education, if there's signals. I asked him everything. He just kept me on red, didn't do nothing. Yeah.
Wow.
And then later on, I come to realize about the whole process of why they make you sign up with the broker and stuff. And for that person to get paid by that broker, you have to deposit a certain amount of money in the account and then place a live trade with a certain amount of lot sizes. And it has to be open for a certain amount of time for that broker to then say the accounts are valid or the accounts have been used or whatever, for that person to then get the kickback of the money to that person. After I did my research, I realized, wow, I've been scammed.
Yeah, so literally they get you to sign up for the broker. They can't just get a bunch of random signups to make an account, because they'd make a bunch of money on the commission. So they have to have somebody actually place a trade there. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. And when I spoke to a couple of the people, they were telling me I'm not too clued up on it because I've never, sold signals or done anything like that. But I was told, like, even with other brokers where you get loads of people signing up, you get a kickback from the broker themselves, like some sort of financial benefit when people sign up to them. And obviously when they blow accounts and commissions and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I always get really suspicious of people promoting brokers and stuff like that. That's nothing I do. Unless it's like that's interactive brokers or some actual popular broker that everyone's heard of and they're just getting a commission from you joining, that's different. But if it's a broker you've never heard of, that's pretty crazy. So let me ask you, when you joined this guy's group, what did you come across him on YouTube, Instagram, like Twitter? How did you find this guy?
So I'm a petrol head. I'm a car enthusiast. I actually drive and build race cars.
Oh, okay, cool.
So one of the YouTubers I follow, he's got like 1 million followers on YouTube in the UK. A British guy, right?
Yep.
And I've always followed him on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. And I thought I'm one of his followers and stuff like that. He just does his car content. And then he started pushing this person as a guru, saying that, I'm a trader now. Sign up to this guy. You get loads of money. Sending screenshots of people making money. He's like, guys, you guys should do it. I'm gonna leave the UK now. I'm gonna go to Dubai. I've made like 100k today because of trading, because of this guy. So he was kind of like the social media influence behind this other person. And his Instagram right now has 1 million followers.
Wow.
And yeah, so he's kicking back the money to this dude, and I've even messaged him, saying to the YouTuber that, how do you place the trades? He said, I don't place them. My account's linked to his, and he places the trade, and it automatically financially benefits him. And I was like, well, why is it that you're not doing that for your followers or your subscribers? Why is it that you, as a very wealthy, financially stable person, as a YouTuber, are getting that financial benefit when we're just the common working class people trying to make a buck and survive, right?
Yeah.
And that guy, the guru, isn't even teaching us. He's not giving us any value, but you, the YouTuber, are getting all the value, all the money, because you're basically the social media person for the guy. You're giving him the clientele.
Seems like like a massive scam. Sorry to cut you off, but it's...
No, it is. And the funny person is, because that person's a car guy, we actually butted heads on social media, because when I go to the racetrack, there's a community of his, and people started to call him out, the YouTuber, for his scams, and I brought up, he's a scammer and stuff. And, after I joined that guru group and then all this stuff happened, I started to come across loads of other people getting scammed by him, so we actually made a little tiny group about it. And honestly, so many people have been scammed by the YouTuber. I even had a bit of a argument with the YouTuber and stuff like that. So yeah, like I don't want to expose names or anything, but
yeah, no need to name names, but that's the thing. There's so many of these guys out there too. It's crazy. Like the schemes they come up with. It's so like it's funny. It's not funny, but it's just unbelievable. Like
I don't get how it's legal in the UK.
Like, it probably
the world are quite advanced, security wise and stuff like that. It was absolutely shocking. But the dude's left the UK now. He's made enough money to go live in Dubai.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but what's annoying is that all of us followers, you followed him for his car content. You're a car enthusiast. You look up to him as a social media type person. Someone that you kind of enjoy watching their content. To then start pushing trading and scammers, it really hurts, bro.
Oh, it does.
It's like someone that you idolize takes advantage of you. It hurts really bad.
Definitely, and it sucks too, because trading is, a viable way to make money. I always recommend it should be like a side hustle kind of thing. Like you should never really fully rely on trading, but it's sad that you can actually trade profitably, and then these guys, maybe they scam people and then they just probably give up. But it seems like you didn't really. Seems like you just kept going and you wanted to learn, right? So.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because I kind of knew about Forex and stuff anyway, because I dabbled in setting up businesses. Like in the UK, I set up a couple of businesses here and there, just trying to figure out how the system works, the algorithm, the corporate algorithm and stuff. So,
yeah.
And a lot of my business was related to importing, exporting car parts for the performance cars, because I build motors and stuff like that for cars.
Yeah.
So I was always aware of GBP USD conversion and stuff like that.
Yeah, because a lot of the business had to hedge currencies and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah, and because my suppliers are from the USA, I kind of had to work out the conversion, the freight cost, the taxes, and it kind of made me realize, you know what? I've kind of had an exposure to Forex, just tiny bit of an exposure over the last few years. So I think that's kind of what made me think, you know what? I'm going to follow what this guy does say about the signals and all that stuff. So being scammed is one of the worst things ever. And I just want to send a message out to everyone. When you're looking to trade, don't go for the guys who have loads of followers, loads of, views and followers. Don't go for those guys. Go for the traders who have a small amount of following, because they're actually busy working and trading.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I have to say that about myself, but I don't have too many. I think I have 21 or 22,000 subscribers on YouTube right now, and
Including me.
including you. Yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, and I mean that's not a super small following, but or not super big or super small, but it could get larger. But I'm trying to actually provide value, and one thing I like that I do is I have my weekly forecast on YouTube. I've never deleted any of them. I do it every week. I only miss them around Christmas time. And all of that analysis is there on YouTube for people to critique. They can go back to last April, on the April 15th, or they could see, and they can go back in their charts and see the evidence of how accurate it was. And a lot of these guys, they just have their cars and their most likely fake P&L. And then that's how they scam the beginner traders who are desperate to make a quick buck, right? But we all know
they showed the lifestyle. They showed the lifestyle, and that's what entices people at the moment. The whole social media lifestyle. But yeah, I mean, your content's great because you're not looking for anything. You do plug your course and stuff like that, or your community, but that's fine because you're still providing value regardless if people join or not. You're still providing the weekly analysis. You're talking about supply demand. You're talking about rally-based rallying, stuff like that. So you're talking about candlestick anatomy, what supply demand is, trend. You're adding value regardless if people don't or do sign up to your community. So from my perspective, I've not signed up, but I've taken value from your weekly analysis alongside my own, of course. But I always look at it as a extra. Oh, he's thinking the same thing. Cool. That makes me a little bit more confident, type thing.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. I know people that maybe they just use my stuff for like higher time frame analysis or whatever. But I always tell traders come up with your own strategy. Maybe you like supply and demand. Maybe you want to combine it with trend lines or RSI indicator or whatever. I'm just making things up. If you want to combine it, that's great. But it's all I don't know if you said it to me earlier, but the holy grail is in your own mind. It's the strategy that you come up with. It's not going to be the exact same, right? So, anyways, more about you. Are you a swing trader? Are you a day trader? What are you doing currently?
I'm intraday. Yeah, I'm intraday. So I normally trade the 1 minute chart. Okay. I normally trade London Open. So 8 a.m. UK time to 10:30 UK time. I'm not so good with New York because the setups are more clearer for me in London Open because I use Asia as liquidity pools. So I look at where the liquidity is, and Asia is kind of ideal for that. I do trade New York, but most of my setups and data-wise and stuff like that, most of my setups are normally in London Open. But London 8 till 10:30, New York 2 till about 4 p.m. because after 4 p.m. London banks close anyway, so then the volatility dies out.
Yeah, that's good. I can already tell you're probably doing all right because you clearly have. One of my next questions is what session do you trade? And you've already seems like you have a set structure of what you're doing. So what strategy What strategy do you trade? I know you probably have your own, but what technicals are you using?
So technicals, I use basically market structure, breaker structure, change of characters, supply demand, that type of thing. But I say my strategy mainly focus on liquidity points. So where is the liquidity within the market? So I use a higher time frame analysis for the overall bias, but then I do all my trades on the 1 minute to kind of catch if I could catch the move of the day and you get a New York continuation, I might end that day at 50 risk reward. Yeah. So it's very high risk reward based, but the win rate is low because you're entering on a 1 minute time frame, but you're trying to capitalize on the higher time frame bias, right?
Yeah, I know exactly. You're turning basically an intraday day trade into a potential swing trade, right?
Yeah, but I never really hold them for more than a day because I'm on prop firms, charges, swaps, and stuff like that. But I kind of have that mentality, so that when I do start getting payouts and funding my purse, I can afford to then hold for 1 or 2 days and get the crazy 100 risk reward trades that you see.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
So
but I just target liquidity mainly.
That's cool. So one of the next questions I had, you kind of touched on it. Is your win rate? Would you say your win rate's above or below 50%?
It's in and around the 50% zone. It depends. When I was doing my back testing, I was getting around 50 to 60%.
Yeah.
On live data from April to now, I didn't really trade July or August because the market conditions weren't ideal, and I am a very restricted trader.
Yeah.
So to me, discipline is key. So I didn't really trade July, August, but in June, I think I only took 2 losses out of 16 trades.
Wow.
So that was a really good month. But as traders, we know you get good months, bad months. So I'm not gonna say I have a generally high win rate, but yeah, it's around 50-ish%. On a good month, you could probably get about 70% on a good month.
Yeah, but that's like above the mean, right? That's good that it's good that you've identified that it's this month where you've only taken 2 losses or whatever, that it's a rare month, and you could almost even expect a month full of losses, right?
Of course.
I even talk about that we do these Sunday meetings in the group, and I kind of touch on psychology at the beginning for a bit. And I like the analogy of golf. I don't know if there's any golf out in the UK, but going golfing, there's like your average score, and then sometimes you'll have a really, really bad round, and then sometimes you'll have a really, really good round. And there's it's just that fluctuation. So for example, a couple months ago, maybe I had a really good round, the best round I've ever had. And then I already went into that next round of golf knowing I'm probably not going to shoot what I shot last time. If I do, perfect. If I shoot better, even better. But I went into it expecting not to play as good, and that happened. But then it didn't surprise me, right? And it's just about having that preparation to prepare you for, when the downturn comes. So it's good that you are aware that month that you had that was super good it's probably not going to be like that next month, right? So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, but July and August I hit nothing but SLs.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously, it comes down to understanding the market conditions. It comes down to understanding your strategy. It comes down to understanding what it means to trade and what it means to be a trader. Just because you have 1 month of a high win rate, that doesn't mean your next month's gonna have that. And you should go into that month with an open mind of your data is the average is this. So if you do get a losing streak, don't start revenge trading because you've had a good month. Because people kind of get caught up in the whole, I'm having a winning streak, and then a losing streak starts to come and they just lose. The psychology just crumbles because they can't, keep their mentality. How can I put it? They can't be honest with themselves, or they can't remember that trading, you're gonna have losing streaks. You just gotta humble yourself with it.
Yeah, 100%. So when you're going through a losing streak, I know you're relatively new to trading, but what are there any tips you'd give other traders, when you're going through a losing streak? What do you do? What do you say things to yourself? Is there anything you change? What does it look like when you're going through a losing streak?
So in terms of support for losing streak, I mean, you have to have a big loss. As a trader, you have to have that one big loss that really makes you feel sick. So then you think, wow, I really need to stick to my trading plan. Because the trading plan is in place to protect you, because it should be data driven. And I say that because a lot of traders make trading plans based on how they feel, not based on statistics and data. So for me, what I would say to a lot of people is, if you've got good batch of data, 200, 300 back tests in market conditions of various different types, trending, consolidating, breakout, market conditions, as long as you've got your data and you've got your losing streak from that data, you should then expect you're going to have that as an average. So for me, psychologically, having the data makes me confident because I'm a very rule-based person. And coming into trading, I understand that this is a data-driven job. So what I would say to people is when you get a losing streak, if it's part of your trading plan, take it on the chin. It is what it is. You should be using correct risk management in line with your losing streak, so you're not going to lose your capital or blow challenges.
Yeah.
And that should mentally make you more rigid during that losing streak period.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like I've tell people all the time, I might have probably mentioned in the last couple podcasts I've done too, where there's almost nothing you can do. It's just, your first bad losing streak. It's going to be tough. You're going to be like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, is this even profitable? But like you said, if you have the data to back it up, if you have the back testing to back it up, you'll remember, okay, this can happen, right? And if you're just randomly like, oh, I haven't back tested it, but I'm going to buy every 1 hour demand zone in a daily trend. Maybe the win rate will be like 50-50 on that, but what's the risk reward, right? But if you have that back tested data, you can understand like this is going to happen. Even there's a great website, I think it's called winrate.io, and you can just plug in your account size, your average risk reward, and just what you're risking on every trade, and and how many trades you want to take, and it'll just run through and you can just keep hitting it. It'll run through different cycles of like different outcomes, right? So like you can plug it in, let's say 3-to-1 risk reward, I don't know, 40% win rate or something like that. You can plug it in, like sometimes your account will start off like where you take 7 losses in a row, but then there's like, and then it eventually evens out sometime, and then you hit refresh, it'll start a whole new sequence over again, and it'll be like 5 wins in a row followed by 10 losses in a row, and then 2 wins, and then 1 loss, 3 wins, right? Like, so it'll just run you through different types of outcomes, but it all ends with the same results. And even just seeing that definitely just helps build your confidence. So I suggest anybody, even you, check out winrate.io. It just gives you like a good visual like of it. And even if you know, oh, I'm going to have like 7 loss drawdowns depending on your win rate. You can know that, but once you see it kind of playing out in a simulated thing, it could definitely just help with that, with your mindset and your discipline. So I highly recommend anyone check that out. I'm not affiliated with them at all, by the way. I think it's a great tool. So
no, that makes complete sense, and it's the same thing with backtesting. When you get the data, it makes you feel comfortable. When you see the data of your losing streak, it makes you feel comfortable. Like with me, I know my losing streak on average is 4 trades average.
Yeah.
What I do is my risk management is far less than that, because I mentally can't stomach a bigger risk on a prop firm challenge, right?
Yeah.
Me personally, I risk anywhere from 0.2 to 0.35%.
Right.
But I'm targeting high risk reward trades. So I can have a losing streak of 10 trades and it won't really hinder the account. And I prefer that for me personally, because I use a trade copy and it's linked to all of my accounts. So I would rather risk what I'm comfortable losing. So that's another thing I say to people. Learn what your losing streak is and risk what you're comfortable losing. Like, you're happy with these losses. If they're happening, you're completely not phased. Trading should be data driven only. The minute you place a trade and emotions come in, you've already lost.
Yeah,
I know a lot.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the whole 1% risk thing as well. I think that's very misconstrued. Because you could take 1% risk and pass an account in 2-3 trades or whatever, but then can you stomach that? Because when you see 1% risk, some people, they can't handle it. For example, I can't really handle seeing 1% risk, $2,000 drawdown when it hits an SL plus commissions and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like 2,500 drawdown. So for me, when I do 0.25 or whatever, because I have a high risk reward, it's gonna work out financially beneficial anyway to take less risk. Mentally, I'm not strained anymore because it's small risk. It's a minute percentage of the account. The risk reward covers me to pass the accounts, so it's just slow and steady wins the race. I'm not trying to pass accounts in a day.
Yeah, that seems to be a big push now. Oh, pass your account in like a week. It's like, who cares? Who cares if it takes a month? Like, then you have a funded account and you're good. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's this big rush to make money, and when you're rushed and when you're risking more than you want, that's when you start making stupid decisions. And the whole 1% thing, I think it's fine. The 1% risk thing is like, it's more for beginners, so it's like you don't end up risking 50% of your account, because a lot of the times the problem is people will just deposit like, I don't know, $200 in their account or whatever, like $500, and they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna risk $250 in this trade or something like that. And it's just because it's not like $250 it's a lot of money. Maybe it's not to some people, but you know what I mean? Like, so they'll risk 50% of their account and they don't even really realize, right? So it's like the 1% thing makes sense, but you're right. There are times where, you know, for example, I'll risk more if my higher time frames are all aligned and it's with a trend and things are looking great. And I also want to touch on, we were talking about losing streaks, and how that if you have the data and you have the back testing to build confidence, it's just going to make the drawdown a lot easier. And for example, I've been just experimenting with intraday trading the S&P 500, and it's basically, I'm not going to go into detail on the strategy, but, and I'll be straight up honest with you guys, I have not back tested this. It's basically me, like, I'm confident in it enough where I'm not going to lose like 10% of my account or 5% of my account doing it, because I'm actually only risking a quarter of a percent on every trade. But
of course, yeah.
It's basically, I'm live trading, back testing essentially, and it's worked out great, honestly, so far. But it's basically just buying the S&P trend line breaks on a lower time frame, just because they're designed. I'm only doing it on the S&P because it's designed to go up. Usually will go up. I know it sounds crazy to say, but it's just something that I've been basically back testing, and it's true. If I were to take, I don't know, five losses in a row, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my, as in it's not my normal trading strategy where 5 losses for me in a row is pretty much nothing. And then I'm confident that the next trade could be a winner. I'm confident long term. But for this back testing, it's like, who knows, right? So that's just two different sides of the story where I'm, and remember guys, what I'm doing, I'm basically just back testing on a live account because I'm confident enough, I'm experienced enough where I know my account's not going to get blown doing this. So don't try that at home. I'm just trying to give you guys a good example of, you know, the back testing you don't really know, and I don't really have confidence if I start to go into that drawdown. But when you have your system and play in the data, the losing streaks just become easier. And like, you can have all the data. You could sit there one Saturday, come up with a strategy. You only buy demand zone, whatever the strategy is. It doesn't matter. You could have 300 to 500 trades worth of data, and you know that your max drawdown is, or your average drawdown is going to be 5 trades in loss. Maybe your max drawdown is going to be 7, and then you could be trading a live account, and then that drawdown comes, and you're still not going to like it. You're not going to be comfortable with it. It's just going to take a few times of you dealing with that to get used to it. And it's just, you know, with time, the discipline and the patience and not worrying about the losses will eventually come. But it's going to take you, like I said, you can have all the data in the world on how many losses you can take in a row, but until you actually experience that a few times, you won't really be used to it yet. So just wanted to touch on that as well.
I completely agree, and one thing I want to say off the back of that is the advice I want to give to people starting out trading is learn what it means to be a trader and learn what the job entails and truly accept it. And what I mean by that is a lot of people come into trading and they just think it's only wins. And the few that do understand there's losses, they can't truly come to terms with those losses when they come into trading. So one thing I want to say to those people is when you do look at trading, look at what it means to be a trader, look at the difficulty, look at what it means to accept losses. You need to really be comfortable with seeing your drawdown at 4%, 5%, or on your personal account, you might see you've lost a majority of it. You need to be genuinely comfortable and be in that situation where you're not mentally affected. If you can't do that, this is going to be a serious struggle for you, because psychologically, you're going to go up and down on your P&L. If you can't control that emotional range, as I like to call it, you're probably, this isn't for you. You need to seriously be like a stone or like a brick wall when these things happen. You got to be no emotions, stick to the trading plan. It's data driven, it's gonna work. You back tested, you've seen it work. If you become emotional, you're just doing yourself You're just doing yourself damage.
I-
So advice to those people, just truly learn what it means to be a trader and what the job means, and really come to terms with the losses. Like, generally, if you can stomach losses, like in your heart, in your stomach, you can take it, then you'll be good. If you can't, then you're really going to struggle.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I love that you use the term emotional range, because I actually touch on that a lot. And I don't know, this is an analogy I like, but it's just the idea that people, they work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then Friday comes and they just get all excited. It's Friday, it's the weekend, yeah. And then they go from like maybe a 2 to a 10. But when you have that excitement, it just makes Monday even worse. It's like a huge swing where you have to go back to work on Monday. And I'm not saying you can't be excited about Fridays or about a winning trade, but it's about, maybe don't go to a 10, maybe just go to like a 5 or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get, you want to trade, that's great, get excited about it, but you know, get pop right back down to like that even level I don't even, emotional, what did you call it again? It was a great analogy. You called the emotional range. Yeah, back to that medium range, right? Like, I don't know, I like that analogy of the Fridays thing.
Just that neutral zone. That zone of just being neutral. That's perfect, man. That's perfect.
And you're gonna have little spikes up and down, like, you know, when you see somebody's heart monitor, right? It's like, it's wavy, something like that. And then when it starts to get spiky and stuff, it's, you know, things aren't really good at that point. And you know, even taking losing streaks is not fun, but even winning streaks can damage people psychology as well, because then they think they're unstoppable, and then when that losing streak comes, they're like, oh, what the heck happened? Like, I can't do this is terrible. Maybe they lost all their profit, right?
I have a funny story about that, actually, because my main focus is on psychology. Like, to me, when I started trading, I had a couple mentors, right? Not people that I've paid for to join groups or anything, but one of them was I joined a signal group after I got scammed by that person. And I spoke to the person who does the signals, and he's a very open, honest person, yeah? So when I deposited the money, I got access to his Discord, spoke to the person, withdrew all my money so I don't get scammed.
Yeah.
And I was in the Discord, and I was talking to the person, and we become quite good friends, and he's my mentor now. And he's the one who's taught me about psychology, the understanding of it, and I do believe he's a genuinely profitable trader, but his signals aren't the best. But that's not the point. The point is that he's the one who taught me about psychology, the understanding of it, taught me about a couple of books to read and stuff. So one of my friends actually had this issue a few days ago, because amongst me and my few trader friends, I'm kind of the psychology guy. Like, whenever any of my buddies has problems, they're like, yo, go to Bash, man, you need to talk to Bash, he's gonna sort you right out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of traders, they go straight to technicals and they don't focus on the psychology like most traders. And some of these people that have been trading, that are traders now, just a few group of friends, some of them have been trading for 5-6 years, and they still struggle with psychology because they never really delved into it. They spent 4 or 5 years just looking at technicals, right? So he had that issue. He had the 9 wins, yeah, and I think the average risk reward is about 9 risk reward. So you imagine, he's in his feelings, he's happy, he thinks he's the king, you know, he's took 9 wins, win after win after win, and his average risk reward is 9 risk rewards, so he's doing really well.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the market turns on him. He's doing a strategy as he is. He starts trading more. His trading frequency has gone up, not part of his trading plan, because he's developing a bit of ego. He took a loss. What does he do? I'm right. I can't be wrong. That SL is unacceptable. Trades again. He lost 4% in one day.
Yeah, that's not acceptable.
Exactly, because the winning streak made him feel like he was a king, like he couldn't lose. And I says to him, I goes, look, dude, because he reached straight out to me, he goes, Bash, we need to talk, bro. I'm having some issues. I don't know what happened to me. Anything. I goes, did you deviate from your trading plan? He said, yeah. I said, that's your first mistake. And then I goes, did you revenge trade? He said, yeah. I goes, you lost control of your psychology. And I said to him, that trading plan is the one that gave you those 9 wins. That trading plan is what made you that huge level of profitability over those 9 trades. 9 trades, average risk reward 9. That's insane. That's like fantastic.
Like almost unheard of, yeah.
Yeah. but he's a really, really good technical trader. Fantastic technical trader. Like, I respect the guy. But psychology, yeah, he is not the best in terms of psychology. He's always struggled with that.
Yeah, it might have.
So I had to say to him,
Go ahead.
So I had to say to him that you just need to stick to the plan. Remember this losing streak. Remember what it felt like for you to put all that work in to make all this money, to then lose all of that profit. Just never forget the feeling of what it's like when you go wrong and why you go wrong. You have to hold yourself to account when you're trading, because it's you versus the markets and it's you technically versus yourself. So you have got to be honest and you have to hold yourself to account.
Yeah, I 100%. And it would have almost been better for him to have a win, 3 losses in a row, and then a win instead of like the 9 in a row, or whatever you said he had. It would have been better for him. But, like I said, you live and learn. So hopefully now he's not going to do that again. If he does that again, then it's on, the first time you can maybe blame it on, it's always yourself, but, you can blame it on the inexperience. But the second time, it's, you really, like you said, you got to hold yourself accountable 100% of the time. It's so important.
And this is his first time he's had that issue. So I said to him that it's happened once, it shouldn't happen again if you stick to your trading plan. And I'll say to a lot of people, like all of my friends, always know your losing streak. The average of your losing streak, you have to know that.
Mm-hmm.
So when the losing streak comes, you're ready, or you're prepared, or you should be ready, you should be prepared.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe your average losing streak is 5. That third loss in a row, you should be expecting 2 more, really, right? And if it's not, if the next trade's a winner, even better. It's just a bonus, right? You're like, okay, I'm not going through that drawdown. Probably get the next one to be a winner, and the next one will be a loser, most likely, or something like that. But yeah, you're right. I've always, told people, like I said, that website earlier, check the website out. Put your average risk to reward and win rate in there, and you can see how many you're going to, expect it to lose. But even, maybe if you have your trading plan, write that down on your trading plan. Expect a average of, your average drawdown is going to be 5. But then there's actually like the top range of your drawdown as well, like where it could be like the top end is like 7 or 8, which maybe comes every like 500 trades or something like that, right? So that's
you should always give a bit of leeway. So if your losing streak is 5, just give yourself 7 or 8. Just be smart, be wise with trading.
Yeah,
if you're gonna have a 5 losing streak, give yourself 7 or 8.
Makes sense.
There's no harm in protecting your capital. With trading, we have to protect the capital. Not like there's people who risk 2% or 4% of trade and blow accounts. If you want to be profitable, you have to protect your capital and you have to think statistically.
I completely agree. And that's, one reason I'm doing this podcast, interviewing people like yourself, is because unfortunately, there needs to be more education on trading psychology. And if people, even just listening to this, if somebody's like new to trading today, they just found out trading, I want to be a trader, and they listen to this exact episode with you, hopefully they probably wouldn't get scammed by somebody offering signals with a 95% win rate and massive profits, right? Like that's kind of my goal with this podcast, is to really prevent what happened to you, prevent that from happening to other people. Fortunately, it never happened to me. I have been in groups. Exactly. Like I have been in groups, and I do remember maybe 3 years before I even knew what trading was. So I'm talking like maybe 2012 or 2013 or something like that. I had a friend say like, yeah, there's this guy. He's on Instagram, rich guy, has like Lambos and stuff. And, I guess you just send him money or you just copy his trades and stuff like that. And I was like, what? Like it just, I don't know. Like I had red flags going off my head. I'm like, that sounds too good to be true. And a lot of the times anything, I'm having a kid next year. And one thing I want to teach my kids is, just the idea of like, there's no free lunch if it's too, like just these simple things. There's no free lunch, and there's no free lunch. What was the other one? What was I just saying? No free lunch. And if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And I think if you just have those two ideas in your head, it might be easier to go through life and prevent getting scammed and stuff like that. But even getting scammed, like you got scammed and now you're doing good, right? So it's a lesson learned, and that's all that matters. So
yeah, I mean, as much as I hate the person who scammed me, I can also kind of want to say, like, not say thank you, but I owe a lot to him, because now I've learned trading, I've learned psychology. I'm helping other traders out with their psychology who've been trading longer than me. So, like, I've learned a lot, and I'm on the verge of passing all my accounts, you know?
yeah.
But I'm taking it slow and steady, so I'm not trying to pass accounts quick or anything like that. But yeah, for me, from this podcast, I just want to give people value, get them to understand what trading truly means in terms of the losses, accepting the losses. Also, be careful of these gurus, definitely, and get a mentor. A mentor is the best thing. Whether this is the case of my scenario where I joined a signal group, I don't advise doing that because a lot of them can't really trust them.
Yeah.
But the dude that I joined, he's genuine, he's authentic. Every time I message him, he always messages me back. He even asks how am I doing, how's my life and stuff like that. So he's an actual genuinely honest person. But find a mentor who's gonna show you their P&L, prove that they're profitable. They're not gonna hide anything from you.
Right.
These types of people are people that you actually want to learn from, because they're honest people, right? They're gonna guide you on what it means to be a trader. They're gonna help you psychologically. They're gonna help you technically. A mentor is the best thing, whether if it's yourself or anyone else who is authentic. But definitely get yourself a trader, and you're gonna learn a lot faster, and focus on psychology first before technicals. Technicals are easy to pick up. I learned technicals in 2 months. That's not hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the hard part is like sticking to your plan, and once you have the technicals are important, but yeah, it's all just gonna take time. Like that's like you said, you didn't rush. Maybe you tried to rush into it at first when you joined that guy's stuff, but then you realize it's not. It's a slow race, and that's what I did as well. And it's worked out for me perfectly. And I'm sure anybody who's ever been a successful trader, maybe they took it fast at first, but then their success came with slow progress and just time, right? So I think this was a pretty good discussion. Is there anything else you'd like to say to any beginner traders, any intermediate traders, anything you'd like to add? You touched on a lot, but
yeah, sure. I want to talk about my risk and the reason why I'm taking such a small risk. I have a high risk reward, but the reason I risk small amount is because when I pass my accounts, I want to trade the exact same way I'm trading now. Why? Because the way I'm trading now is going to get me past those accounts, and it's going to get me funded. I'm not looking to risk 1% pass quickly, because with trading it's about being consistently profitable. The word is consistently, not making 10% every month. If you can get 1 million in capital and you can do 1, 2, 3% a month, you are ahead of most traders if you're consistently doing that. That's why I'm risking small amount. I want to let the strategy do all the heavy lifting. My psychology is free because it's a small risk. My losing streak isn't going to be affected by the small risk. And when I pass those accounts, nothing changes in terms of my risk. Everything's exactly the same.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And also probably because there's probably max drawdown rules and stuff like that too, right? Yeah. Where, if you have a lower win rate, you can't be risking the 1% with their rules, right? So
exactly. So because I have a 50% win rate, my win rate is lower than most people. So because of that, I understand and I accept, truly accept, I'm going to have more losses than most people. But my wins are going to carry those losses far ahead. I'm going to have at least 10 losses to get 1 win to break even. And statistically, that's not going to happen. I'm going to have more wins than or even wins than I'm going to have losses. So I'm overall profitable. But the point is, when you get funded, don't start over trading. Don't start going against your trading plan. Don't start over leveraging, over risking because you're funded. That's what so many traders do. They risk a lot, get funded, they blow their account straight away, or they aim for a 50, 100k payout.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's gambling. You'd rather go casino and just play blackjack or something.
Yeah, that's the problem with these challenges and stuff is like you could technically you could just have the worst strategy ever and just go through like a 5-win streak, get funded, and then you lose the account because you're risking 2% or whatever, where you are taking what you're doing, and you're gonna do the same thing when you're funded, right? So yeah, I think that's definitely very valuable advice. I think you're definitely on the right track for sure.
Yeah, as I said, if I risked more, I could have passed all of my accounts just in the month of June.
You're right.
But I was completely happy with the fact that I haven't done that, because that's setting the wrong standard.
Yeah,
it's encouraging the wrong type of ethic in trading. That's encouraging greed and impatience. Whereas in trading, it's a slow and steady. This is the story of the rabbit versus the hare, or whatever you call it, versus the turtle. Slow and steady wins race in trading. Patience and perseverance is what's going to get you funded and consistently profitable. All I'm looking for from trading is consistent money. I'm not looking for $100,000 payout. If I can get 5,000, 6,000 every single month, even 2,000 every single month, that is more than enough for me. And if you got, as I said, 1 million in capital, and you make 2-3% a month, dude, you are making bank.
Oh, you're laughing.
And you have to respect that.
Oh,
you have to respect
100%. It's also great that you, like you said, whatever that month, June or July, like you could have passed it right then, and it's nice. You're obviously you're bringing it up, but you're not salty about it. You're like, oh, I should have did that, right? Like I hear so many people, like, oh, I should have bought Tesla or I don't know, Nvidia or whatever the hell the stock is that's up right now. It's like, oh, I should have bought that, and it's like, I never think like that. I never think like, oh, if only I did this. And that's good that you don't do that either, and understanding it's a long-term game. Like, yep, you could have passed your account there in July or June, whatever month you said, but you also could have blown your account if you would have done if you would have been risking whatever it would have taken to pass. So that's just, I think, that's definitely, you're clearly very mindset oriented, and I think that's fantastic. And you are a prime example of what it takes to become, a trader, and you've gotten there pretty quick, I gotta say. But if anybody's listening, it could take years for you guys to get to that, and that's fine, right? Everyone's different, everyone's wired differently. So like for me, I've grown up just kind of with an anger problem, I guess you could say, but I've slowly just worked on it. And I've just slowly worked on it, and I've had to, because relationships get destroyed, accounts get destroyed. Luckily, I've always been disciplined in my trading. You mentioned earlier you have to have that one big loss that makes you sick, and I'll be, whether you guys believe it or not, I have never had a loss like that ever once, because I've always been disciplined with, when I first started trading, I'd risk. Again, I never really talk about dollar amounts, but to me, $5 is not a lot of money. $5 to some people is a lot of money, but I will say for my personal background, $5 is not a lot of money. So I would risk $5 a trade and just day trade, and just to get familiar with the market and see how it feels. So, and the $5 was like, I don't even know what the percentage of my account would be. That it would be so small where it basically had no effect on my overall account. And I've just always been disciplined like that, and it goes a long way. It keeps you in the game, right? That's another thing. It keeps you in the game. So
I had a big loss, but I paid respect to that loss, man. Like, that loss really humbled me, and it was bad. I'm happy to mention how much it was. So across all of my prop firm accounts, because I've traded them with a trade copier, one day I lost 45,000 across all the accounts.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, now this is in challenge phase, right? But to me, as I said, I'm going to trade this way now when I'm funded. So I accepted that 45k as if I was live, that was 45k lost. And I swear to you, oh my God, the pain I felt, the sadness, my stomach was churning. I felt like I was going to be sick.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even money, but it's for me, it's like I understood that I'm trading this as if it's my live account with the risk and everything. I don't want to change anything because I don't want to be caught by greed when I become funded.
Yeah.
So honestly, you need that 45k loss, because I went on tilt, bro. I didn't stick to my trading plan, well on tilt, took a revenge trade after revenge trade, almost hit my max daily loss across all my accounts, almost blew all of my accounts. Yeah, I needed that. I really did, because all that made me think is I never want to feel like that ever again.
Yeah.
After all the hard studying, the psychology, I put so many hours and hours into reading books, the back testing, all the work, it was for nothing if I don't follow my trading plan. So
100%.
that really humbled me, and I don't want to say to everyone, but you need a big loss to really make you respect trading.
I agree. Now that doesn't mean anyone listening you should just go make a bad decision and take a big loss. But I've never experienced that, but I could see how that could, be a life changing moment. There's so many different examples of that in real life too. People that are, addicted to drugs or something, and they have one bad day where they almost, things almost go really south, and then they, from there they recover. So it's a kind of a similar. I like analogies like that where people can, I don't know. I find I learn a lot from that. So, but yeah, that's definitely good. At least you took the loss like a man, and you learn from it. That's a big thing. A lot of people just give up and take it as an excuse to just give up. And I'm glad that you didn't, because clearly now you're on the right path. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. Or they blame the markets.
Yeah. Oh, the moneymakers, man, they're on to me. Yeah, that's a funny one too. The only time you can really blame the markets is the only time I ever blame the markets is if I'm in a trade and then some economic. Now I'm a swing trader, so I don't really care about when economic data is coming out, because if I'm buying a 4-hour zone and price the euro US dollar drops 1.5% and it stops me out, so be it. It doesn't bother me. Like, I will be like, oh, I got stopped out because of the economic data, but I also don't get angry about it. I've accepted that that's going to happen sometimes. So, there are times when the market goes wild and it stops you out when maybe it's not a normal price action, but that's just another aspect of trading that you have to accept. You can't get upset at that and all rattled and riled up because some economic data came out. But I will tell people, if you're a day trader, you have to know when that stuff is coming out. It's very, very important.
Oh my god, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I trade the 1 minute, so for me,
I
stay clear of news. I close out positions 30 minutes before, or I take entries after 30 minutes of news. But yeah, I mean, if you are in that scenario, just accept it as one of the losses you're going to take as your losing streak. Don't hold it against the market. Don't hold it against yourself. Just take it on the chin. It's part of my SL. It's part of my strategy. Unless you're deterred from the strategy, then take it as a learning lesson.
Yeah, I could not agree more. As we wrap this up, are there any advice you give to new traders? Or you've given a lot of advice here. I think it's all been great. But is there anything else you'd like to add? Or
no, I can't think of anything. But if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm more than happy to help people out with psychology, because I think for me it's one of the most important things is psychology. Just try your best. I've learned at a really fast pace, but it's because I've genuinely had no ego in the markets. I've looked at myself as, have I done right, have I done wrong. I've tried to grow as fast as I could by taking everything as a learning lesson. When you come into trading, every loss you take, even the wins you take, study, analyze, and grow. Never stop growing, because if you do, you're never going to become or progress to the level of profitability, because you have to learn every single day to get to that point. So accept the losses, accept where you're wrong, hold yourself to account, review your behavior, review your performance, journal your trades, journal yourself and your psychology, and genuinely don't be, how can I put it, egotistical. You have to have no ego in the market. As long as you review yourself, you hold yourself to account, I think you learn probably faster than me. And I do mean that for a lot of traders. If you're honest about it and you're really genuine, you'll be good if you get the right mentor as well. Good luck to everyone. Honestly, good luck to everyone.
Well, I think that's a good way to wrap up the podcast. I think that was a great closing statement, and I appreciate you coming on. I think you definitely. I think we both gave some really good insight today, especially to some of the beginner traders, and I appreciate you being honest with your journey before and getting scammed. A lot of people don't want to admit that, but again, it's good to admit where you've been wrong, and hopefully, I'm sure a lot of people listening to this have been scammed already. So, guys, take this, he's a living example of somebody who got screwed over and they ended up, getting past that and becoming profitable. So that's I'm really happy to hear that that's been working out for you. So
yeah, thanks, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to speak to you and get a chance to have a conversation with you and kind of even learn a bit from you and stuff on this in this podcast. It's been great. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
For sure. Yeah, I think it was we'll have to do it again sometime for sure.
Definitely. Cheers, man.
All right. Yeah. Have a good day. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. And if anybody wants to come on the podcast and basically do what we just did today, and just even if you guys aren't, maybe you're a struggling trader and you're not profitable yet, and you still want to discuss things, I'd be happy to have you guys on. So, anyways, guys, take care, and I will see you in the next one.